So with like Thanksgiving coming up, a lot of stuff going on, family getting together. What do you think's going to be the juice and gossip going around the table this year?
Trump, Kaepernick.
Trump, Kaepernick. We got that Kaepernick coming out. You seen?
Mhm.
I know you've been following that. I haven't really been following it, but you were talking about it, so I went and started reading up just because I did follow him back in the day,
Right.
but he hasn't really been
Playing.
active the last couple of years. So
He
I didn't really.
he hasn't
I
played a
haven't
lot.
been up on him basically.
Right, right.
But
right.
I know he had that workout, like a private workout or
Right.
something, where he was supposed to have all the NFL was gonna host it,
Mm-hmm.
or he was gonna host it at Atlanta Stadium.
Correct. I believe
And
that's
then
correct.
basically all the teams, 32 teams, was supposed to be sending scouts, recruiting type people to go watch him work out.
Right, and I think he left early.
They sent some fanboys out there. They're like, I'll go out to, I'll go watch Colin work out. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
So basically, but I did see some of the video of it, and he was still dropping like he threw a couple bombs.
Yeah, I mean he's a good
Looked like
player.
He still looked like he was all right, in good shape. Like what do you think?
Yeah, I mean I think
I think it's something he's still into, or
I think he's still into it and all that. I'm not sure. I can't really see him. To me, I don't know. It seems like he.
I know you have strong feelings about the whole situation in
Well, I
general,
have
just because of his history in the league and the movements that he started with his protests,
Right, with the taking a knee.
taking the knee,
Right.
his form of protest, which
Right.
I think we kind of agree on that, or at least I can
agree
see,
on what the point is for why he's doing it,
Right.
basically to try to bring attention to police violence against black people, black men, African young, unarmed,
specifically cops,
right,
basically
killing people,
murdering young black men,
right,
yeah,
and
not having repercussions for it,
right, and and I think a lot of it because of Donald Trump, it got turned into a whole bigger. It got turned into a thing about
Very
the
political,
country
very
and like it's
political.
against the flag and tried to. So one of the things that I was talking about was I would still see one. I almost don't think that he would really want to play football again. I don't think he would really benefit from that. But I couldn't see like I don't know. I was trying to think, imagining some team like. The only way that he's going to, or the only way that I see that a team is going to let him play football and start, is if he
Doesn't
agrees
do
to
the
not
protest,
right. If he agrees,
Right.
and he's not going to
Which
do
he
that,
ain't doing.
right?
Yeah.
So, and so what's it going to come to? It's going to be it's an impasse,
But
right?
do you think out of 32 teams, there's not a few that might be on his side?
No,
Do you think all 32 teams aren't
I think
feeling that
they might-
they don't want that drama?
Right, exactly. Just like.
Do you think it's because of it goes against Trump and they are agreeing with him, or do you think it's just because they just don't want
That's what I was going to say.
negative, or they don't want? I don't know.
It's what I was
hard
gonna say.
say,
I was
'cause
gonna
feel
re-
like it would be.
I was going to relate it to Trump in that I was going to say, like, in the same way that you'll hear that there's like a lot of there's a lot of senators and stuff like that who behind the scenes will say, I don't like Trump, but when they come out, they're, he's the
Camera,
greatest
they're
person,
like, yeah.
and I think it's the same thing with, a lot of the players and maybe even some of the owners who behind the scenes are like, I understand why he's taking this stance. I understand that he's not doing it as an affront to the country or to anything like that, but they're not going to say that out in public because there's so many people. I think you and I had a disagreement about the fact that I think that I don't think that there's any team that could be brave enough to
Take him on.
right, yeah. Because what did I say? I said any
I
team
feel
that
like they
does
would,
that.
though.
I said any team that does that, their stadium, the city will burn down that stadium.
I like to think. I feel. I get what you're saying, but I feel like there is still people, like, that would do that. That would stand up for what they know, do what's right. I don't think it's the majority or anything like that, but I think out of 32, I feel like there's probably some in there.
Well, then why is
because I feel like he had a lawsuit. I feel like he may have a little validity to what he was saying with his lawsuit, that essentially he wanted to continue to play and was essentially pushed out of the league because of his beliefs, and because he wouldn't. We never did confirm and I don't mean to cut you off, but we never did confirm if there was an NFL league rule about that.
Oh yeah, we needed to look that up to find out. And if we do, maybe we can put that up there to see if
we can add that in later or whatnot. But that was one thing I was kind of curious about, because if that's the case, then they did push him out of the league.
Right, but see, and I think that's one thing I believe is true, and I'll say that again. But I think that he is more effective as not being able to play.
What, as like a social leader instead of a
because
athlete?
What's he gonna do? It's so funny because I had made this statement before to a couple of people. I sent you I didn't send you a copy. I sent to the person. I think I did. So I was talking to a couple of people on text messages, and I said, why would he want to go back to playing football? Because if he believes that that the owners and all that are racist, that would be like
civil rights.
Yeah, I said that would be like Kunta Kinte. I said that would be like Kunta Kinte wanting to go back to picking cotton, because he's made his stand, he's made his point, he's not playing anymore, and he's not playing because of the.
It's a difference though, because Kunta Kinte, unless Kunta Kinte loved picking cotton, and he just didn't like doing it as
slave. So maybe it's not a good analogy.
Colin Kaepernick, he's been playing it since he was a small boy. He's been what do you call it when you're like a genius? Athlete, basically. Like he's like Bojack. Like he's an amazing athlete. Like he catches a lot of heat. He did have some kind of
prodigy.
Lukewarm,
you mean a prodigy?
He's literally he was a baller. He was a boss. He was a beast in football, basketball, baseball. He was actually supposed to play baseball, really, because that's what he was best at.
Okay.
But that's not where his heart was at. His heart was in football. So he wanted to play at Nevada. I always say that wrong. Nevada. Darth Vader.
You don't say
he wanted to play college ball,
right?
And so I think he got drafted by the Cubs, I think is what I read.
Oh, really?
And he turned it down, or he passed on it because he wanted to play football.
Okay.
So he played football, played Nevada, set it off out there, and helped really, just cement a couple records that not only he just set the record, but he's the only person that's done it. So it's he's pretty much a boss. Came in, did a little thing, and then, I'm kind of curious about the league rules. If they change that, that's really kind of that's shiesty right there.
I thought that after Trump got involved, that the league actually made a stance, and like I said, I haven't even been watching football for the last year or so. I think I might have followed the one Raiders Bronco game, but not really even that so much. But I've stopped watching it for a while. But I think that they did make a rule that anybody who kneels or whatever during the national
fined or something
gets fined
Probably
or something like that. And I think there might be some teams where the guys are still doing it because they can.
Yeah, because there's still definitely a few. I don't know how many, but there's at least 3 people he shouted out by name that are still doing it.
But I don't think they show those guys on TV. Like I don't think they show the team during the national anthem, or else they don't come out.
They show the hot dog vendor or whatever,
or they don't allow the. So I don't know. I'd have to look into it again. But what I'm saying is, this is just maybe my opinion only, but it seemed to me it would look funny for him to go back. The only way I can see him and be okay watching him play football again is if they allow him to play and still kneel.
Yeah,
but if he is not allowed to kneel, then it's like you can't play.
No, I don't think he would do that.
Right.
But his heart, because I think his passions are more for that.
Right.
But I think his heart still lies with football. Because if he's turning down, I don't know. But as a former baseball player, if the Chicago Cubs call you and we are ready to draft you,
right,
you don't pass on that usually. If you're a baseball player, because that's a dream. But it's if he passed on that for football, then there's at least quite a bit of love there,
right?
Because that's
Elway did the same thing, right, with the Yankees. I think
there's a lot of athletes that do that. That they're so gifted with athleticism that they can do whatever they want to do, basically.
But so like he got the contract. He has the Nike contract, which come on, he's making. There's no way that the NFL was paying him as much as Nike's paying him.
And like Nike, and we all know how Nike's moral compass goes. It's a little
Nike goes in the compass
but,
of
I mean,
their.
They were doing some campaign around his movement that he has started, which was kind of cool.
Right.
But I mean.
That campaign won an Emmy award actually.
Yeah.
For that Nike commercial that actually won an Emmy.
Yeah, it was like "Be Yourself" or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Basically, I'm not even gonna say it because. Yeah. So I don't want to guess it, but it's that right there. That's what they said. Yeah. But he said, do everything at all costs, basically, no matter, even if you're going to lose your career, you lose your life over it, stand up for what you believe in. Basically, that's what it was. Stand up for what you believe in, even if it's going to cost you everything.
But
I don't know the exact verbiage of it.
Exactly.
You know. And so, but he has that. He also got a settlement with the NFL, right? He got a settlement with the NFL. Nobody knows how much that settlement was for.
And that's what I was talking about. The dude that got a settlement with him.
Right. You said he's still playing and he's still
kneels.
And that's who I don't remember. So I don't know enough.
I believe he plays for the Jets. I think he's a defensive.
And do they show that or what?
I don't know. He had a picture of it. So obviously there's some.
Okay.
There's some level of photography because, NFL, they keep their
stuff together,
rights and stuff like that pretty close to home.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There must be a little bit of coverage of it.
That's true.
If not, to just talk trash, like they do it for some reason.
I don't know. I can't
it's
see
real
him
controversial.
There's another thing. There's another way that he can. There's another way that he would stop playing. Or would play again, and it would be okay, and be able to stop kneeling, and that is if police violence or these murderers and all that stuff stopped.
Basically, he can feel proud enough to not kneel.
Right,
exactly. That there's no more violence towards black men, and that the flag in the country have those kind of beliefs.
Maybe
that's not cool.
$1 billion get donated to some civil rights, something like that.
Basically, if everybody can just be cool with not murdering
black people, that'd be awesome.
Men.
I have 5 of those young black men, so I kind of have a stake in the game. I got some dogs in the fight.
I can see why that might be something that you're attentive to.
So.
I see us fam. So
do you think when at your on Thanksgiving when you guys talk about this, if you guys talk about this, it'll be as civil as the conversation that we're having? Do you think people are having civil conversations across the country? I'm sure you are. Or do you think? I think most people are.
Nah, I think most people are like, get her done.
Yes, it's so bad.
It's so foul, dude. I don't know, man. I don't know why there's you don't even want to hear why, I feel like it's just that going on where it's just like an immediate, because it's such an immediate slight or seen as such a slight of disrespect that they don't want to hear
that
why.
And the sides get so divisive, like we don't understand, like on both sides, we don't understand the impact of like calling each other names and stuff like that. So like when we call each other names, that side, like, the other side, like takes their like, I'm not that, and then they don't want to hear anything at all. And so that we people need to learn how to communicate with each other is really what it is. But people aren't communicating with each other; they're just yelling at each other, trying to like, what's his name? The guy from Real Time, Bill Maher. He did a thing. He was talking about owning each other. He was talking about Thanksgiving, but he basically saying get over it. Like everyone wants to own each other. Like, I own him in that debate, and it's just like, man, we're all different. We have different ideas. We have different views. We're going to just have to live through this and get through it all. So,
it's crazy. Hopefully Jay-Z gets promoted to like, he's on there. He's up in the mix again.
I was gonna bring up the Jay-Z thing, but I didn't want to take the conversation all the way into
Well, he was support. Well, he's my favorite rapper, so it's like I'm at least, if I'm not keeping up on the other, I'm at least hearing this just because I keep my ears to anything he's got going on.
Yeah, I get.
he was really full steam on Colin Kaepernick's side, supportive. One of the few people that I remember was first really vocal about him and J. Cole were like people that I remember being really,
and Beyonce too, even though Beyonce did perform at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like I feel like he was a real supporter for that, like on the main national on the stage, you know.
Yeah.
And then now he's got his new gig. What do you think about that?
I think
there's split on that.
See, I was torn. I wasn't always a Jay-Z fan, especially because even though I'm from New York, when I grew up on the West Coast, so I was all into
You're a little
that,
bit before that.
right? So I was like on Tupac's side. So I was like, yo, when Tupac was mad at Jay-Z, I was mad at Jay-Z. So, I've watched him I've watched him grow, and I've watched him become like, an inspiration and not in just the African American community, but in like all communities, and actually I don't know to what extent him and his wife are doing to like help out communities, but I know that they are doing things to help out communities, especially underprivileged communities. And so when I saw and I heard people call him a sellout and stuff like that, man, I got to me, and like, and it was people who were like his biggest fans. All of a sudden, like, why would you think that he would just all of a sudden just flip the script? Like, why don't you think that maybe he has a plan? Like, maybe he's got something under his sleeve and then like when
it's definitely going to involve making money. Yeah,
right. Of course, he's a businessman. You got
to try not to hate about that part.
That's what I'm saying. But, he's not a politician. He's a businessman. He makes money. That's what his thing is about. So, and the fact is that it's sad that so many people try to put so much, weight on political issues and social issues on entertainers and stuff like that. We don't look at scientists. We don't look at, people in other fields. We look at ball players and actors and singers and stuff like that for our guidance and social issues when it's like
advice.
Right. So he's a businessman and he's out there to making money. So nobody got mad at the other players on the 49ers for renewing their contracts.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I was going to connect the dots is supposedly he had a big hand in the convincing Roger Goodell to
the workout
to allow grant the
I saw one
workout
one of my friends online had posted something about that, saying like, oh, Jay-Z was involved in the same thing. And I'm thinking about it. This was the same friend of mine who a month ago was calling Jay-Z a sellout, or 2 months ago was calling Jay-Z a sellout. And I'm like, come on, man, you people flip the script so fast.
Yeah, Jay-Z, we were talking about Jay-Z just in general, and he's the type of businessman or just logical thinker mind to where he's thinking of steps ahead.
Yeah, he's not thinking about this year. He's thinking about like 2024.
This is all preparatory.
Yeah,
it's like he's got something planned.
Yeah, you don't become a billionaire.
I read an article that was really sweet. It was Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones, not the rapper. It was Mike Jones. Was for Sports Illustrated, and it was a really nice article. I don't remember the exact verbiage, but it was really saying that give him a chance before he's not this. I don't think this is where he's going to sell out.
Exactly.
It's how he's going to do that.
Exactly.
If he's going to sell out.
That's
so give him a chance.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, come on, man. You really think
he poses an opportunity to possess historically the most power in the NFL, I should say,
right?
Like world leader
but even for a black person, for a black man, yeah, hell yeah, he has a lot of.
If he becomes an owner of a team, even if it's a not a majority of an owner, is what I was reading. It's like he will historically have the most power that any black man has had in the NFL.
Right.
Like
now I could see I could see Colin
then you
playing
can
on
make some
Jay-Z's.
change.
Yeah, I could see Colin playing on Jay-Z's team
Right.
because
Switching up the jersey to Rockaware, just having it like all tight, like just like
the team's name would probably
light,
be
just real light. You know what I mean? Like beachy.
Yeah, that'd be tight. But I was gonna say we got to make a note of it because talking about entrepreneurship in the hip hop industry, rap snacks. We didn't cut. We got to talk about that in
rap
another.
snacks is my jam, dude. I know you're like oh, rap snacks.
It's been out for
You're
a
like,
bit.
rap snacks. It's been out for like 3 months. Where have you been? And then I'm like, what up with Panda Express? You're like, I've never even been to Panda Express or heard of that place. I'm like, dude, where have you been the last 30 years?
I don't like. I've never been there. I've heard of it, but I thought it was like a remake of Yoshinoya. But anyway,
Which I've never even heard of.
Yoshinoya, I think, is only in California, but I think they have a remake. I think Panda Express is Yoshinoya.
Okay, in a different side of the country or whatever. I got you.
Anyways, so
yeah.
moving right along.
Move on to something a little bit more lighter. We got